New details this morning in the trafficking case against Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors now claiming that from behind bars, Combs has been trying to reach out to victims.
Yeah, that they came to Ben Affleck and they said, your wife's on these tapes. So that's something I can confirm to be fact. He said, I asked my partner for an Advil. He handed me the Advil. I woke up 22 days later. Combs is the person who accidentally put him in the coma. They like to keep memorabilia from these escapades. And, this is something that's a lot more common than people think amongst elite parts of society.
Do you want to know where he is? If you want to know where he is, I'll tell you where he is, but he wants to surrender. He's here to surrender.
You're legendary for the parties that you throw.
I'm a legend, baby, for a whole bunch of things.
Yes.
You need locks on the doors?
Hey, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year. Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it.
Justin, right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy. Where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose. I had legal guardianship of Usher when, he did his first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. And we gonna go buck fool crazy.
Diddy Combs' attorney has officially severed ties with the embattled music mogul amid mounting pressure, shocking revelations, and overwhelming evidence. Once a powerhouse in the industry, Diddy now faces the possibility of being found guilty on all charges, potentially spending the rest of his life behind bars. The decision by his attorney to part ways at such a critical juncture speaks volumes. For a legal representative to abandon their client suggests the allegations against Diddy may be indefensible. Adding fuel to the fire, a new accuser has come forward, alleging a troubling and unexplainable. This latest claim has ignited another wave of controversy, further tarnishing the mogul's reputation and raising questions about the future of his legal battles.
A little bit about your client, of what you can.
Yes, so she reached out to me a few weeks ago after being referred to me by another attorney who knew I had been doing things about this case and had been sounding the horn on Diddy. I've actually sued him in another lawsuit in 2021 in Miami with Trey Songz. So she called me and told me a very horrific story about her and her escape from the... She told me that she was at a friend's house who had industry ties and was on the phone with Diddy, and he decided to come to the house. And when he came to the house, everything was fine, that there was another woman there who we've determined to be Christina Coram, KK, who Diddy talks about a lot as his right-hand woman, if you will, and that they were discussing trafficking her. And then that led to her being served a drink where then she started to feel woozy, and then Mr. Combs her with an inanimate object, and then actually directed another gentleman to her while he watched and pleasured himself. So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report, and that was made in 2018, that she, when she initially filed the police report, she didn't name Diddy out of fear of retaliation, and more importantly, fear that no one would believe her.
We all have stories. Mine is horrific.
Why didn't you say something then?
Because we just want to live. We want to be happy. And we really want to forget the trauma.
Former backup dancer Tanika Ray has spoken out following federal home raids and mounting trafficking allegations against the embattled music mogul. As speculation grows over the possibility of serious charges, her revelations add to the intensifying scrutiny surrounding his actions.
Since then, I've been like, yep, I have a lot of stories, y'all. Maybe I'll write a book one.
Law enforcement had enough to get the search warrant. They maybe even have enough to get an indictment.
Critic Tay alleges that Diddy fired a family member after they reportedly rejected his advances, adding to the mounting accusations against the embattled music mogul.
And if so, I expect Diddy to be arrested in a matter of days and no more than weeks.
So, there's that.
I have never talked about this publicly.
An entertainment journalist referenced an alleged 1996 experience with Diddy in her caption, stating that none of the current revelations surrounding him come as a surprise.
Oh, yeah. We all have stories. Seriously, we all have stories. Mine is horrific, and only 5 people know it. and I probably will never.
This unfolds as Diddy faces a growing legal storm, with his attorney labeling the Homeland Security search warrants as a witch hunt, marked by excessive force and hostility. They argue this approach led to a hasty and premature rush to judgment, intensifying the controversy surrounding the embattled music mogul.
Mind you, I then interviewed him many times. And I also am very intimately aware that you tell your truth and you become victimized over and over and over and over and over and over. But it just is so traumatizing that women just want to live every day in full.
She hinted at sharing her story in the future, suggesting she might eventually document it in writing.
The government likely has a very strong case against Diddy.
The weight of unspoken stories is heavy, but sometimes the urge to share becomes too strong to ignore. Reflecting on her silence, one individual remarked, "We live in a state of victimhood, and nobody wants to stay there. For those wondering why we don't speak out, it's because we just want to live, be happy, and forget the trauma." Addressing the audience, she continued, "This is a full circle moment. Let's have an adult conversation. I know I've upset a lot of people, but we're here now." In a candid exchange, she addressed Puff, also known as Scene Diddy Combs, remarking, "I haven't seen you in over 15 years. You still look good, but I don't understand your lifestyle. Who are these people you surround yourself with? Do they take advantage of you? What's happening at these house parties?" She revealed unsettling footage from one such party, questioning the sheer number of attendees and the events taking place. As these revelations surfaced, another voice joined the conversation. Tanya Wallace, a former attendee of Diddy's infamous gatherings, dropped shocking allegations. Wallace claimed minors were present at these secret parties, dressed inappropriately in ways that left her deeply disturbed.
Revisit and revisit. We live in a state of victimhood, and nobody wants to live there. So for those who are like, why didn't you say something then? Because we just want to live. We want to be happy, and we really want to forget the trauma. So
I know I pissed a lot of people off, including you.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a full circle moment, everybody.
Yes.
Get into adult conversation.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen you in over 15 years, but I'm not seeing wrinkles. I'm seeing good. You live a really hectic lifestyle, and I don't understand all the running around, and who are these people that you surround yourself with, and who are these people? Do they violate you? Do you get robbed? What happens? Now, you threw a house party, and I got the footage, okay? Look at this. Now, who has this many people at their house? Puff, and or Sean, Diddy, Doody, what do I call you?
I think you should call me Puff. You always call me Puff.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. First hurdle jumped. Jesus.
I'm not gonna lie.
At one of Diddy's 2018 parties, I noticed underage victims questioning, "Are those really the people you're surrounding yourself with?"
And I want to start with Tania Wallace, who claims she's been at a freak off and said she saw children, and it was hard for her to say it.
It was very hard for her to say it, Ashley. So what she said was that she was flown out from LA to Miami by the Saudi prince, and they ended up eventually on Star Island at one of Diddy's parties. She says, among many other things,
Tanya Wallace dropped a jaw-dropping expose during her No Jumper interview, revealing disturbing details about Diddy's infamous gatherings. What seemed like typical celebrity parties turned out to be much darker. Wallace described the unsettling atmosphere, including the shocking revelation that Diddy's sons were allegedly present at these events. Her account has left the internet stunned, forever changing the way people view the music mogul and his private affairs.
Looking like, are those midgets? Because it's people over them, like it's people trying to hide what they're doing.
Adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense. Little people that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
Is this woman, Tania, is she really saying that there were minors involved in these freak-offs?
That is exactly what she's saying, Billy. Now, as for what they were doing, she never really could get a clean look at it. She said there was a wall of adults encircling them who clearly didn't want everyone at the party to see what was happening there. She said when she saw this scene with the younger people, that it was about 7 a.m. and that the party had been going all night.
Did anyone ask her why didn't she leave, and what was she doing?
She was there as the guest of a Saudi prince. As to why she didn't leave, I don't know what time she left. I agree with you that once you see something like she's describing, that's the time to tip out the door.
Or call the FBI. I mean,
or call the FBI, exactly. But, you know, that's the other thing that we've heard from a lot of people who've been involved in parties with Diddy, that there are NDAs that are signed, and you walk out and you feel like, I can't say anything to anyone.
Real reasons why or what really happens, they don't know because they wasn't there. And that would affect me emotionally. But I got myself into a situation where I was about to get trafficked. And this was like 3 years ago. And I was just like, it was a close one. You know, I came up on this prince, and he was Arabian, and he flew me to Miami, and he said I was gonna be there for 2 weeks. We were in a $30 million house, and I ended up being there for a month, and I had to escape, okay? And we were meeting so many girls, and girls from Love and Hip Hop was coming in the house, and celebrities was there, and all of this stuff, but it started to get real weird, you know? It was a lot of drugs, and like, I don't do hard drugs like that. Like, I was smoking weed, you know, and they were doing hard drugs and stuff. And it was just like, it was getting, like my gut was telling me something bad is about to happen. But he was trying to like distract us with buying this stuff. We was going shopping and doing all these things. And for some reason, I felt like I'm used to getting, but like this right here, where am I about to be tomorrow? And why are we still here? So then he says, well, we're gonna go to Cuba. So the girls start talking in the house, and they're like, girl, I gotta get back home. And he said that I can't leave. And I'm like, well, what is he gonna do with us? Then, you know, we had went to some celebrity's house, and we ended up at P. Diddy's house. And I just started hearing conversations, and I just got trafficking from it. Because, you know, I heard the prince saying something like, oh, you can have whoever you want. Like, he was like selling us, you know? So I'm like, is this traffic? Like, what the? And it gave me a whole nother outlook on everything too. And I had to like really like pump my brakes on how I do things. And maybe because a week before that, I had just said like, I want to be in Miami. I want to be around royalty. I want to spend this a much amount. And I realized everything that I said that I wanted, it came like that.
Although Diddy's attorneys might try to deflect twist narratives and create stories to steer attention away from the avalanche of accusations, there's one chilling tale they cannot escape: the mysterious and untimely death of Aaron Carter. Aaron, a pop star who first captivated audiences at the tender age of 9, was tragically found dead at just 34. His death, officially ruled as a combination of drug and mental health struggles, has never sat well with fans and conspiracy theorists alike. And now fresh theories are emerging suggesting that Diddy may have had something to do.
Recounting in disturbing detail how these gatherings weren't just wild celebrity parties, but something much darker. The most shocking part, Diddy's sons were allegedly present at these events.
Club Live ended up ending like later than out here, like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
We go back to the mansion. We chill for like an hour. Next thing you know, we load it up, like how we always do. We load up and go places, but now we load it up on our way to Star Island.
What is that?
Star Island, where Diddy lives.
Oh.
So that's where his freak off goes.
It's just like a section of Miami, or it's like an actual island?
It's actually, because the street has like a whole bunch of palm trees and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, you know, I did TMZ. I just did a documentary for TMZ last week, right?
Okay.
And it's the, I seen you on the first one.
Oh, they're doing a follow-up?
Yes, because they have more information. So it was the downfall of Diddy.
That's true. There's like hundreds of more accusations after the first one. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I sat down with Harvey, and they basically, I got there because I had footage. So I gave them footage that nobody has.
Okay.
And so we're on Star Island. I'm in my Snap recording like, oh, Diddy's house is lit, da-da-da. But I haven't gotten there yet. So I'm not knowing as soon as we get to the door that they were going to lock up our phones in bubble cases. We could hold it, but it's locked up. We can't use it.
Right.
So I'm like, what the So I walk in,
instantly, one of Diddy's sons, Christian, was like, you, come here. Now I'm walking with the girl that I brought. The other girls are walking behind me, but once we got in the house to the side door, it was a backyard, so everybody split up.
And so the vibe is that the pretty girls, dudes will come up to him and kind of like make it clear, like, yo, you're getting invited to the latter tier of this party.
Exactly.
And they're giving out what, like little sandals?
Exactly, that's what they were giving out. So when the son came up to me and said, you come here, or called me over there, I'm like, who, her? He's like, no, you. So I'm thinking like, why not both of us? But okay, whatever. He's like, take these shoes. The shoes, the robe shoes, white terry cloth robe shoes. They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, what do I do with these? He like, this is how you get in the house. So I just took them, I carried them. And that's when Diddy came, like, just appeared. Now, when somebody walks behind you and rubs the side of you, you already know, like, what the?
Yeah.
You might as well hold me and pick me up. What was you about to do? Throw me in the pool? But everybody was already skinny dipping. That's nothing. When I walked in, before I seen Diddy, I'm just peeping out everything. House music going like a rave. Do, 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 do. And it's real, real loud. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. People drinking mimosas, eating eggs and bacon in the goddamn pool. But naked, though. And just walking around, and waitresses passing around drinks left and right. I was even holding the drink in my hand, and I don't even drink like that. Occasionally, but, you know. So when he came up to me, he's like, how are you liking my house? And I'm like, I'm trying not to be starstruck, so I wasn't looking him in his eye. And so I was just having side conversations with him. He's, oh, you know, the prince been telling me a lot about you, and da-da-da-da, like, but you need to go inside my house. Enjoy my house. And he's saying little stuff like, what's mine is yours, and all of this stuff or whatever, right? So I tell my friend, like, girl, let me just go up in this house. You know, like, the wants me to go inside.
Right.
But I don't want to leave you out. So I'll be in there for a few minutes. I'll be right out. Walk up in there. This going on, that going on, a few things going on.
So wait, like the main house is the party, and then there's a separate room or a separate section where the freak off is taking place?
Separate section where the freak off is taking place.
And you can't see this section from the main party?
No, because you got to go inside the house. The party is like outside, and the party is inside too, but that's the freak off.
Okay.
So people that are just outside, they won't know what's going on.
And you're talking about
until you walk in.
You're saying
publicly fucking in multiple people.
There's just like a couch.
Exactly.
And there's just some couple dudes fucking a bunch of girls?
Yeah, and naked, everything. I mean, they not pulling shit to the side, trying to be discreet about it. No, this is like they in the room by themselves, tuning out everybody around them.
Such a crazy concept to me because I have so much experience having on camera, but I can't imagine just being at a party and just wanting to have an where like a million other people could see you. It seems like such an obvious thing to be like, let's go in the other room.
Right, but you know what? With the music and the drugs and the drink, do they even care?
And I was thinking about that. Like if I'm gone off the Molly.
I'm talking about gone, like like
sure,
a rave. Like I've been to these Hollywood parties. You know the parties where you go in Hollywood, like it's like different sections. Like it's a R&B, not R&B, like a reggae side, then a techno house music side, then it's a regular mainstream side.
Right.
The music was loud as you go to
Diddy's world crumbles as the once powerful music mogul faces another devastating blow. For the third time, his bail plea has been flat out denied, and now it's becoming increasingly clear he might just be looking at spending the rest of his life behind bars. The courtroom drama has been nothing short of a spectacle, with Diddy's legal team trying every trick in the book to secure his release. But the mounting evidence and growing accusations are leaving no room for escape.
Developing news tonight in Lancaster, where pop star Aaron Carter has died at the age of 34.
Yeah, the troubled performer grew up in the limelight, but he was in and out of rehab several times in his short life. Chris Wolf is live for us in Lancaster. He's got more on this. Chris?
Yeah, Rick, MB, the street is now cleared. People have been moving in and out of that home behind me all day. And tonight we heard from some of those closest to Aaron Carter, and they all say the same thing. They all share stories of a very kind, loving, caring, humble, yet troubled young man. It's the tragic death of a young performer, and now family, friends, and fans around the world are suffering the loss. Singer, rapper, actor Aaron Carter is dead at the age of 34.
Oh my God.
Carter's close friend and stylist shared this video of a recent birthday celebration for Carter's fiancée, Melanie Martin. She is also the mother of their 11-month-old son, Prince.
It's very painful. Very, very painful. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. He was at the dentist and he FaceTimed me. He said, come over. And I said, I have work to do. I wish I could have just go see him at least one more time.
They're Aaron Carter.
Right.
A lot of people keep forgetting Aaron Carter was begging for help, begging for independent financing, begging for security. He made it very clear Sony was out to get him, just like Michael Jackson told him they would be. And right around that time, his brother had just been accused of graping one of the girls from making the band, Diddy's entity. And they were trying to make all of that go away. And Aaron called his brother out. And then the next thing you know, he said, if anything happens to me, I did not do this to myself. And then he was gone.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I'm sorry. I'm sorry the way that I look. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. It hurts. It hurts so bad because there's like nothing I can do about it. I take for high blood pressure medication, and I took for my mouth. How would you feel every 2 seconds seeing a tweet? You go, oh, look at this. Oh.
Aaron Carter's mom has made a pretty remarkable decision. She has decided she wants the world to see the death scene, where the bathroom where Aaron was found dead. And the reason for this is she is calling out the police and feels like they did not do a proper investigation here, because she is certainly insinuating that there may have been foul play involved in Aaron Carter's death.
We're gonna bring her on, but before we do, I just want to make something really clear. The police have said it was not foul play. They have not identified anybody as a person of interest, a suspect, anything like that. The operating theory is he was huffing and he overdid it and died in the bathtub. So that's the operating theory. She has a different point of view.
Right. The photos that she has released show the bathtub. It shows the floor around the bathtub, and there are things that she sees there or doesn't see in these images that that make her suspicious. And she wanted to make sure that Aaron's death remains something that people are talking about. And I think she's insinuating she wants people to put pressure on the police to do a thorough investigation. So joining us now to talk about why she put these out is Jane Carter, Aaron's mom. Jane, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you so much.
So Jane, why don't you walk us through what troubles you about that scene, about the things that you saw in the photograph?
And the things that you've heard happened in the house.
Oh, well, the first day, I got a call. The first thing, I got a call from my daughter, Angel, and she said that Aaron was found in the pool. So then I found out later that he was found in a tub, and it just, everything, the stories just kind of kept changing. But I was very
one of rapper Sean Diddy Combs' request to be released on bail. I remember he's behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn waiting for his trial to get started next year in May. He's been detained for 2 months on charges of trafficking and racketeering, which he's pled not guilty to. Chloe Malas is following this for us. We were waiting for this decision. We got it in now. What do we know?
All right. Well, it's 5 pages. And the takeaway here is that the judge is saying that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. And that was what New York prosecutors were saying. I was in court twice last week, and I listened to these prosecutors say that he was a danger to the community. And they showed that video, that surveillance video of him from 2016, brutally beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, saying that he has a propensity to violence, and that alone is a reason why we cannot agree to the proposed bail package. Now, his team had offered $50 million, a home of his in Miami as collateral, and they said that he would live in an apartment on Manhattan's Upper East Side, monitored by 24-hour security, that he would only talk to his attorneys, that he would only have, certain family members on a pre-approved list, and that, he would actually be under stricter conditions than he is at the jail in Brooklyn. But clearly, this is the 3rd time.
Yeah.
This judge not buying it.
What was Diddy like in court? You were there twice last week. What was his demeanor like?
I mean, he was smiling on Friday, turned around and looked at his children. All of his children were there except for his infant child. His mother was there. He looked a little thinner. He looked a little worse for wear, but he has seemed upbeat and positive. And a few days earlier on Wednesday, so a week ago today, his legal team had a win, because his team was able to say that New York prosecutors wrongly obtained 16 pages of notes from his jail cell during a routine sweep, that it had his defense strategy, it had witnesses that they planned to call at the criminal trial in May, and the judge agreed that those should have been protected under attorney-client privilege. So there was a feeling today among reporter friends of mine and people in the building here that, maybe there's a chance that the judge, given he's taking several days to think about this, he asked for both sides to write a letter, that he might release him. But this is the 3rd time. His team, we're waiting for a response from them, from his legal team. They could appeal again. But we were talking to Danny Savalos earlier, and he said, they would have to propose something new and different to potentially be successful for a 4th attempt.
They playing a game with him because they want him probably to be a witness or to turn over some evidence on some other people that they would like to have behind bars too. And you got to realize this. For him to do that, and if he does that, his life is more in danger outside of jail than it is in. Because they can't do the same, they can't do the same Epstein move again. They can't do the same Epstein. My friend told me that they put up so many cameras after that Epstein stuff, they can't do that move again. Whether allegedly he did it to himself or somebody else did it to him, we don't know. Whether he's on a private island or he's in the grave, do we really know? The whole thing about it is that he may be safer in jail if people are making his beds and he telling people to smile. He may be safer in jail than he is out. Man, I don't know. I thought he would have it hard, man, because since that was Brooklyn, and Brooklyn always stands up, and a lot of dudes from Brooklyn think that he led big to his death. You understand? And by him being housed in Brooklyn, I thought that it would be real difficult for him. But, money talks, bullshit walks.
We're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. It ain't nothing but break it down racial barriers, break it down generation barriers. Ron Perlman talking to Jay-Z, Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on.